Before the start of the match between Maccabi and PSG, the audience could see a nice picture. The children who brought the PSG stars onto the field simply could not believe their eyes. They broke formation and could not contain their excitement in front of the 8-time winner of the Golden Ball. One of the young mascots blew Messi a kiss, and the other left his seat to hug the Argentine superstar. The children hugged Leo in a crowd, who modestly humbly responded in kind. Meet this red-haired boy named Marshall Jensen. When the Marshall was only a year old, both legs and parts of his arms were amputated due to meningitis, but the child and his parents did not give up. The boy lived in a small town near London, and most of the time he watched football with his father. Marshall was a huge fan of Tottenham London and dreamed of getting to the stadium at least once. Tottenham's management found out about this story from Facebook and decided to give him a gift. On May 8, 2016, the boy's dream came true. At halftime, the 8-year-old Marshall on special prostheses went to the football field of the 36,000D stadium to play with his favorite team. The fans stood and applauded this strong kid. To applause, the Marshall was interviewed, and then he played with the Tottenham players. The announcer commented on any action of the Marshall on the field live. The child felt like a real hero on the field, and a smile did not leave his face. This little man conquered the whole of Britain, and Tottenham, having arranged the best day of his life for Marshall, did not stop there. He was often invited to football matches, and once even took to the field with Tottenham star Harry Kane. The London club has taken over the cost of buying new prostheses, since they need to be changed every year until the age of 18. Fortunately, 8 years later, everything is fine with Marshall. He is already 16 years old. He is fond of martial arts, and in April 2022 he visited the ring and met with the champion, Tyson Fury. Despite his problems, Marshall lives an ordinary and happy life and sets an example to many people. We all know Lionel Messi's signature celebration. The Argentine raises his fingers up and looks at the sky. It has long been no secret that he dedicates this gesture to his grandmother, who left this world more than 20 years ago. But in the game against Arsenal, Cristiano Ronaldo performed a similar celebration. In April 2022, Cristiano announced that he and Georgina had lost a child. Ronaldo, like any parent in such a situation, was devastated, but less than a week later he was able to return to the field, and in the first game against Arsenal, Cristiano scored, but instead of his trademark celebration he decided to dedicate it to his deceased son, showing a characteristic gesture towards the sky. It is noteworthy that this goal was the 100th for the Portuguese in the English Premier League. Jonathan David is one of the main stars of Lilia in December 2021. The 20-year-old striker scored a goal against Bardo, and David celebrated it very touching, took a flower, kissed it, and lifted it up. As it turned out, in this way Jonathan honored the memory of his mother, who died 2 years before, and this flower was her favorite. The woman had cancer for a long time, and Jonathan did not have time to say goodbye to his mother. After the Canadian said, "The death of my mother was the hardest blow for me. I will play in all the matches for her. I just want to appreciate every moment you have lived with your parents and cling to every minute of communication." In 2022, Karim Benzema won the Golden Ball for her last season. The whole world was happy for the French, but most of all his mother was happy for him. Benzema said that his mother was a superhero for him, supported her son in every possible way in football endeavors, did not let him leave football at a difficult moment, and even she became a gate when he had no one to play with. "I promised my mother that I would play for Real Madrid in 2012, the Frenchman said with a smile. "After 10 years nothing has changed. Only one person believed that I would win the Golden Ball. This is my mom." And on October 17, 2022, Karim, of course, invited his mother to the Golden Ball ceremony. After all, everyone, without exception, knew that it was the Frenchman who would take the award. After the presentation of the Golden Ball, he called her to the stage, and she looked at her son, the winner. Karim made a speech. "My mother helped me a lot. I am glad that she is with me this evening. To receive such an award after 30 years is the result of a lot of work." When the ceremony was over, the Frenchman said, "I realized 3 dreams that I had in my life: bought a house for my mother, signed a contract with Real Madrid, and won the Golden Ball by 34 since the year of the year. Karim has fulfilled 3 wishes. He has been waiting for this, and of course this is the merit of a mother who has believed in her son since childhood. In November 2020, Maradona's daughter burst into tears during a rally of Boca Juniors players in memory of Diego. The girl came to Boca's home stadium for the first time since the death of her legendary father. In the 12th minute, the home team's halfback Edwin opened the scoring and the players paid tribute to Maradona. They put a t-shirt with his number on the lawn and patted the box from where he usually watched the matches. But Diego's daughter, Dalma, who was in the box, could not contain her emotions and cried. The Boca players continued to clap and the girl at some point burst into tears. Boca Juniors was the last club of Diego in his professional career, and thus they decided to pay tribute to the legend and also cheer up the daughter of a great player. In 2003, in a match between Iran and Denmark, Morten Weghorst showed the whole world what fair play means. At the end of the half, the Iranian defender, who received the ball in his own penalty area, heard the referee's whistle for a break. The player stopped and picked up the ball, but immediately saw the referee pointing to the 11-meter point in front of him. It turned out that someone was whistling from the podium, and the poor guy mistakenly reacted to the sound. What could the referee do but act according to protocol, that is, to assign a penalty? Weghorst, after consulting with his teammates and the head coach, took a noble step. Approaching the mark, he deliberately shot past the gate. The audience gathered at the stadium was very impressed with what they saw and applauded, standing for several minutes. FIFA later awarded Morten a prize for fair play and gratitude. The greatest players of our time, Messi and Ronaldo, have always treated each other with respect on the football field, and one interesting moment could be seen in the penultimate El Clasico for Cristiano in December 2017. Barcelona defeated Cremi with a score of 3-0, but many will remember that match with a pleasant episode. Lionel executed a free kick and quite powerfully charged the ball, and the kick fell right into Ronaldo's head. Cristiano grabbed the damaged area, and Leo immediately high-fived the Portuguese. This moment proves that despite their rivalry, the two legends respect each other on the field. After the end of the friendly match, a boy in a Borussia uniform tried to break through to Christian Pulisic to take a picture and get the player's autograph, but the stadium workers were ready to literally push the boy off the field. Pulisic did not like it. At first he shouted towards the stewards, but they ignored the player, and then he threw the microphone and ran after the boy on his own. As a result, I prevented them and fulfilled the dream of a young fan by taking a picture with him. In 2015, in a match between Milan and Lazio, Jeremy Menez accidentally touched the head of goalkeeper Federico Marchetti in the fight for the ball. The Frenchman immediately realized everything and called the medical team. Fortunately, the goalkeeper did not get a concussion. Federico's entire head was bandaged, and he managed to continue the match. And before resuming the game, Menez approached Marchetti and sincerely apologized for his careless play. In August 2022, Barcelona and Manchester City held a friendly match. The game was held under the motto of solidarity with people suffering from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a degenerative disease for which there is currently no treatment. The ambassador of the match was former goalkeeper and coach of Barcelona Juan Carlos Unzu. In 2015, Juan was an assistant to Luis Enrique. It was the same Barcelona that she won all the trophies for the calendar year, but the disease did not subdue this cheerful and active person. In June 2020, Unzu confirmed that he was suffering from this incurable disease already in 2022. He lost the opportunity to walk under the filled stands of Camp Nou. He made an inspiring speech and looked happy enough. As I said earlier, from this disease there is no cure, and the average life expectancy is 3 to 5 years. So it was a great initiative not only for the former coach but also for all people suffering from this disease. All the money from this charity match was naturally sent to the foundation for the fight against this disease, and we can only believe that medicine will find a way to treat it. The son of Argentine coach Diego Simeone, Giovanni got a tattoo with the Champions League logo at the age of 13, making one important promise. I was 13 when I got my first tattoo. I did not want me to do it, and my mother asked why. I answered, "One day I will play in this tournament and score a goal. Then I will kiss the tattoo," and Giovanni had to wait until 27 years in the 41st minute. Simeone came on as a substitute after an injury to a Napoli player, and 2 minutes later he rolled the third ball into the Liverpool goal. Giovanni remembered his promise and first of all kissed his wrist and then fell on the lawn with tears in his eyes. The reaction of the player shows how important it was for him. Between Feyenoord and Elfsborg, one of the guest players knocking out the ball either intentionally or accidentally touched the camera and then grabbing it with his hands knocked it down on the lawn. The home football player first calmed the opponent and then noticed that the videographer girl could not lift the equipment. Then the striker helped the lady. He independently lifted the camera and put it in place. The fans supported the striker and began to applaud the player violently.